Hello everybody, BugEater64 here, and as you can tell, we're going to be in DCS World for a little while. Going to be doing a little bit different. Got a mod, and when I want to fly a gunship helicopter of some type, about the only thing we've got right here is the KA-50 from Black Shark, and so that's what I normally fly, and it does a pretty good job. But alright, are you ready for this? Welcome the Apache AH64. Anyway, now, I gotta be honest about this. This is a mod that allows us to fly a reskinned KA-50. So the cockpit is actually the KA-50. But the one thing that this gives us is that when we get to arm this helicopter with the Apache skin, we get our Hellfire missiles, rockets, plus the chain gun. So yeah, we got some tank killing stuff on the blue team finally. Now, grant you, it's just a skin, it's still flying, you know, the KA-50, but it just looks good. So I'm going to be doing a little flying around, do a little testing, see how this thing works, and we'll see how it all goes. Alright, catch you on the inside. Let's have some fun.
That's what makes us pilots, you know. We know what we're doing.
Okay, here we are inside the helicopter. Engine's up and running. So we're all set to go here. She's just good looking. We've got it equipped with 16 Hellfire missiles.
But it's like, okay,
so we're going up to full power, and
of very high quality. Both
we'll see how things go. Plus my chain gun.
Visuals and the
now I don't. I'm not an expert with the KA-50.
So I've got
to be honest, I did a little training this morning, so hopefully I can remember how to use my weapons. But we'll see how that goes. Plus, we'll see what the targets is. If it's not a tank or something, you know, medium to heavy armor, I'm not going to use the Hellfires. I'll just use the chain gun, because it'll take out light, even some medium equipment. And so we'll see what we run into.
The more I'm like, they really lackluster on their sounds.
So that's my.
It's like, okay, well.
Helmet sight there.
Look at the PC-12. Why don't you? You might get less passengers. But why don't you look at the Hot Start TBM 900? And I did, and I was like, holy crap, sound difference. Like they simulated a gas-powered ground power unit, and it starts. You hear the little motor, and when you hit the load switches,
and you can hear Cajun Josh and Dion in the background.
You hear the engine on the GPU lug like a generator would in real life. It's like,
yeah, they're on the Discord there, and
so the detail to sit there and
we just get together and
on the GPU
talk about flight sim stuff.
Like, okay, I would have to buy either the Cessna if I was going to go that route, or just go to a 6-passenger TBM and fly. But I really don't.
So I just thought I'd try to do a little test flight with this, because
and have that aircraft when I think 2020
I
will be
had
out
it.
This year
I wanted to work with it.
And I kind of think like these guys are doing.
It's not perfect. It's got some glitches. Sometimes it won't even let me rearm
really the only feature. I'd love to have
the helicopter, but
I could deal with helicopters being in DCS because
we'll work through those things,
and then just deal with no helicopters in flight sim.
Plus, as you can see, I got to get used to the trim on this bird.
They get VR. I'm sure they probably will get VR. So
but we'll get out of here. Get on our way.
For me, I'm going to continue to buy airplanes in X-Plane when there's something that's going to be useful for me to buy, like the C-90, Beechcraft C-90 that just came out, Caravan.
Jets moving down to the end of the runway, and we're just going to fly right over the top of them.
I've already got, you know,
that'll piss off the tower.
So
but I don't care.
I've already got the King Air 350 by, you know, Airfoil Labs, so I really
I'm going to
don't
go
need that
find
airplane.
bad guys.
So as an example, that airplane is nice, but for me personally, I don't need it, so I'm not going to buy it. But if an airplane comes along, then I'll buy it. As far as scenery goes, no, I'm still sticking to my guns. I still have absolutely no interest in buying.
Yeah, you can see we're going to be
any
flying up the
scenery
valley there.
for X-Plane because, for one of 2020, but more or less, it's just the fact that, you know,
There's
just,
BTR
I have
80s
orthos,
and
you know,
some
if I-
actually
and if orthos are
trucks,
good enough, they
so
don't- they're
on.
not the
So
best,
let's
they're not
go
as
see what we
good
can
as
find. Now for the trucks, I'm just going to
but there's
try to shoot 'em.
I'm in that. In some respects, I'm
like
in
I said,
exactly the same boat you are. I'm in the wait and see of what Microsoft, and like I said in my video,
just learning the.
I'm gonna wait.
I spend most of my
months. I'm gonna
time flying
try to
the
push
Huey.
myself, whether I can
It got
hold
nerfed,
myself
so
back
my
from
gunners
actually pulling
can't
the
do as
trigger
much
not on
damage
day
as they
one.
used to,
I'll have to wait and see,
which
'cause
is
I'm figuring
not
that
as
way.
much
Sometimes
fun.
I'll go against my own.
But
my own advice.
so I
But
thought
if I can
to do a
hold
little more
myself back,
and to
I
do
think
any
the smart
tank
thing to do
killing,
is to wait
I'd go with the
18
KA-50.
months, or, yeah, 18 months.
And then
18
I saw that there was a
yeah,
mod
18 months.
that
to
gave
let-
me the
to let-
Apache skin and
I
Hellfires,
think
and I said, let's give that a try.
Disclaimer there was perfect. I could change my mind, and I
So
may
that's
change
what we're
my mind.
doing.
And I think
Yeah.
what I'm seeing with this is what I think that
And I hope you
Arlo
enjoy
is
it,
doing.
because I'm having
One,
fun
like,
learning
I told
and
Bug this the other day. I was like,
trying to
you know,
fly this
traditionally
thing.
The Microsoft aircraft have been garbage, and you know it's third parties that really have to bring it to the table. I said, but we got to remember this isn't Microsoft Sim. This is Microsoft figuring out these guys are doing it really well. We want our name on it, so we're going to throw tons of cash at you and all the work you've already done, but you work for us now. And these guys, like, I don't know if you watched the recent episode where they did the sound recordings on the aircraft,
No.
but
Yeah.
oh my gosh. So they had a TBM strapped down on the tarmac, and it was all chalked up and strapped. And they had like this 15 microphone array, like these windsocked microphones with the dead cats on and everything, positioned at all different spots around the aircraft. And they basically were telling the pilot, okay, we need idle, we need ground idle, we need flight idle, go to full power, reduce, you know, blade flap force, and do all the, and basically just going through a whole gambit
Alrighty,
of real
so,
sounds being
heading
recorded
down the
both
valley in our
exterior and in flight. So
AH64
I think we're going to
Apache.
see a complete and total role reversal. I think now the default aircraft are going to be the go-to. They're going to be the things that fill the skies. They're going to be the beautiful aircraft, and the third parties are going to be the ones that try and step up, and some I'm sure can. But I think that I don't know that they're going to be subscription based. I'm kind of thinking these guys are wanting to get it right, because I think Microsoft's got their eye on commercial, and they know, look, if we can sell this product to the masses and, you know, get it in everybody's houses, we get our name out there, that's great. We can operate this thing, you know, at break even. But what we really want is if we can operate an amazing sim and commercial guys see it, then we can integrate it into these big, you know, 100,000, multi hundreds of thousands of dollars or $1 million simulators, and we can sell commercial licenses where we can basically be selling the same.
And to be one of the things I do to help me in DCS World is the labels. I don't use the full labels. I just use a dot. So
I'm wondering
I can differentiate between blue team and red team.
But I'm kind of suspecting
I found that works fairly well for me.
Subscription based, but
A lot better
maybe they
than
will be looking at more big
no information at all, because if
money off of this thing, because hell, I mean, once
I
you
don't
do
have
a
some kind of
world
labeling,
simulator and your world is done,
you know,
extremely
both
well,
sides
I mean,
use
that just leaves the aircraft left, which
some of the same equipment, so it's kind of gets confusing sometimes.
So if they can get the world right,
so with
then,
the
and I've seen what they've got now.
just
and
the
it's not
dot
pretty.
information, it tells me if
They
there's
show off
if it's
in
a
the
friendly
video,
or
stuff that, like, we've
a
got
bad
couple
guy,
streams
and it
in
looks
our,
like one of our other
in our
Apaches.
Discord, people are streaming it in violation of the
The
terms of
AI
service. They're doing
Apaches
it
may have
private.
gone in and done some damage here.
Ace is showing off the caravan.
We'll find out.
And Hellfire is showing off some of the stuff. But the things that they're saying is these aircraft behave really realistically. Both of those two have Cessna time and Cub time under their belts, so they've got some flight time. They're saying these things they fly really well. There's bugs here and there in the systems, but not a whole lot. But visuals are just stunning with the auto gen. So I'm really, it's got me. It's like, is that a skin over an existing aircraft, or is that an AI aircraft, Bug? I'm really excited for what's coming. And
That's a new skin, a mod.
What aircraft does it fly like?
It is the KA-50.
Oh,
with a new skin. But the thing that's nice about it is it gives us the Hellfire missiles and the chain gun.
that is cool. Do a video on it. Yeah, I'm excited because
I'm working on one now.
It made me see that I could get the. I've always liked large aircraft.
Okay, let's get in here. I want to. We're close enough. There's some enemies up there, as you can see. Just a hint. There's maybe a fire almost in front of me.
Unimpressed with the textures.
There's a couple targets. I'm going to try and get into a hover. And this is one of the things I had a problem with. Was getting into a proper hover to hold. Because that's one of the things I really liked about the KA-50 when I first started flying it a couple of years ago.
I'm really disappointed.
But I was never really good with this helicopter, especially trying to get it to hold altitude and to do a hover hold. So that's what I'm doing here. Now there's some targets out there, but they're hiding in the trees, and that's making it hard for me.
Microsoft Flight somebody.
I think they're just trucks,
I could buy the hot start,
and if that's the case, I just want to use the gun on them.
You did.
Yep.
So let's see how this goes.
Longer, but it could, the TBM could have flown the same flight, and I mean, I think yours has got a cruise speed of like in the upper 400s.
Yeah, I was doing four. I was doing four with the wind. I had like a 60 knot tailwind, so I was like at 460, 480. You know, I would bounce up.
And I've got my track IR that I'm using, so
yeah. And so let me take a look here.
Makes it easier.
That's called the what is it? The Falcon 500, right? The
yeah,
550?
Falcon 50 EX.
So if I'm looking, I'm looking at just straight. Okay, let me change EX just to make sure that doesn't change anything. But I want to say yeah, it doesn't. Or at least according to this, so just apples to apples.
See, right there, I thought I was on a target, and I was set up for missile or sending a Hellfire. And then I said, you know, looking at it, turns out it's just trucks, and I don't want to waste a Hellfire on that. I want to use the
He's got a cruise speed of
chain gun.
90 miles an hour. So the Falcon 50 is the optimal aircraft to get that flight and get it done. But here's this little piddly TBM that technically could have said this is going to be a long one, but we can do it, and it has the range on it, and so it's in fact the range is listed here at 2,053 miles.
If I could have auto hovered right here, I could have set it right on that road, and when these things move, I could have just picked them off. But like I said,
I'm really happy and excited, but it's just you can't
give me a little love here because I'm just learning this aircraft.
The exterior, I almost like the way the Cessna looks, but that is what's got my attention.
Yeah.
You've got.
I could have flown in here with the Huey and tore all this stuff up with no problem whatsoever, because it turns out it's just like trucks and maybe even some fuel trucks.
Yeah, this is the. Well, I don't know. That might be the real airplane. That may not be there, but they were just simulated exactly like with that configuration.
One thing that told me that was being able to look on the TV screen there.
And I love that because as someone who's going to start trying to learn waypoint navigation,
also the fact that at this point they weren't shooting at me, so
than I traditionally have. That to me is great.
Otherwise, that would have been bad.
Having an like the G1000s where it can pull the radio stuff up quickly, and I'm not messing with 4 or 5 different mechanical modules in the aircraft to get things set the way I want them. That's really impressive to me. But I mean, just the aircraft, they look so nice. And Hot Star
trying to get things locked up here, figure out what's what. They're hiding in the trees there, and I just don't have enough experience with that screen to be able to.
They have like everything from a
know what I'm looking at.
Which some of the aircraft have, like the Nemesis.
We'll get it though.
But they have the maintenance stuff that the Nemesis also has. But they even go further with it. If you screw up the engine, you've got to go and do maintenance on the ground with it if you choose to enable that mode in the menus, and it's all free. But it gives you a guesstimate of what you would have just cost yourself had you done that. Like, okay, you need to replace this fuel control module on the aircraft, and this is the cost of it. And like I said, stuff down to the GPU actually cranking.
And then I forgot how to lock the targets.
Simulating a piston engine like a generator under load.
This flight had some problems. Besides a couple of the glitches in the aircraft, the pilot had some real brain cramps.
It's like this Fisher Price just let's take the sound file and let's crank it up, and crank up the frequency on it, or fast forward it. Like it sounds so good. So I'm like, okay, you know what? For emergency's sake, I'm gonna fly lower. And your video was like at the perfect time because your video made me say, I wasn't at that point yet. Someone had mentioned it. I was kind of like, nah, I need something that can fly at least 10. 10's the minimum. Then I saw your video. I was like, that's a 4-passenger flight. He just made 15,000 off of that.
Yep.
I was like, I need an aircraft that can do that. That's smaller. That's cheaper to operate.
Yep. And I was tempted to get the TBM 930 or 900.
See that truck driving by?
The hot start.
That's not right. I should have been able to shoot his tail end and
go pros because
make a smoking hole in the ground of him.
They have attitude over there, to say the least. And there's been community drama with X-Aviation and the community, where people have tried to get things back, but I don't know the meat and potatoes of the stories behind it. But you have to kind of walk on eggshells.
Now some of that may be civilian traffic too, so I've got to be careful there.
You're good to go. And to your caution, I mean, I think the TBM 900 has been out for a long time now, so you wouldn't have to worry about. See,
those are bad guys.
The module. I think the module is pretty much complete, and you're getting extreme. Although, to be quite frank, I mean, I think you found.
And they're moving.
Your aircraft can carry a lot of cargo. Your aircraft can carry a decent amount of people, and it can go very far, very fast. The only thing
I hit the wrong button here
for is landing on short runways. You don't really need that. You're not going to need
so, yeah, we had a lot of problems.
And it's a great centerpiece for your virtual airline because you can take the time to make a nice logo for that thing. That's a big aircraft to show up and.
Right.
So what you're seeing isn't the aircraft problem. This is a pilot problem.
50 and the Falcon 7X
the aircraft seems to be working fine.
Have ramp presence big time. They have huge ramp presence. I mean, they just because of 3 engines. Because you see that third engine sitting up there, and you got this nice
see what we can shoot.
A latitude or whatever. It's like it's a 2-engine thing. It's like it's just a 2-engine. Over here we got a 3-engine. We got look at the command presence that 3-engine has. And so I want to get the depending on how good it is.
So most of the trucks that came through here got away.
Aerobask 7X, and what's really sad, I was looking through the history before it split down. I was looking at the history of my FX.
But we got a couple of them.
One of the very first airplanes that I built up to was the 7X. But it was burning 600 gallons an hour, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I just
there we go.
Said, I'm gonna go
good kill.
BA.
So that's 2 good kills.
British Airways Jetstream 32, and flew it for a while. But now look back on all the airplanes that I've flown with this economy since 2015. It's like, damn, I wish I
and there goes one.
Falcon 50, or Falcon 7X, because now you can't get one unless you want to spend $4 million for it. Forget it.
How much was the 50?
50 was I found mine for 800,000.
God, what? It's a freaking price of a Cessna.
Exactly, for 800,000.
What the heck? It's a 208 Cessna. Costs more than that.
Yeah, I can't. The servers are still down, but I found one. They range from 800 to about 1.2 million is what was available on.
Jeez, man, that's cheaper than a. Wow, there must not be a lot of people flying those
because of they're expecting. They're not expecting. See, I feel
there's
finding those
enemy right here, but
that those 4 passengers 15K missions, because they are there. You just have to find them.
Yeah, clearly they're pricing.
Yeah, I just don't know the weapon system well enough yet. But the weapon system is working fine.
Easily 800,000.
Yeah. What did I figure out for you? What did I figure out for you? See what I.
You just have to get a better pilot in it.
I figured out for you
who knows what he's doing in this particular aircraft.
Excuse me.
Like I said, if I was in the Huey, these boys had all been toast.
That's that last picture I posted. It's not done. Coronado does not do a good job with their sounds.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, darn it. I don't know that there's going to be anything similar to that in Microsoft. The TBM can't carry, the Pilatus can't carry as much cargo as the 208 can. So it's like, okay, in Microsoft, It's completely different. Why? In Microsoft, yes, that is the perfect stopgap. The PC-12 is perfection, but I've got a free TBM 930 for like what you just did. I could do in a 930, or go with a 208 that's free, and you can.
There's one in the trees here.
There's just no reason.
And I just never got the angle on him, and I didn't use the weapons properly, and basically, these guys got away free.
At this point, but I'm seeing a lot of better stuff out there.
Yeah, I mean, Airfoil Labs and a few others out there are definitely better than Carinato, but Carinato is they're in the market of mass production. Okay, we're going to do this for FSX, and then we're going to port it over to X-Plane. Or we're going to do this for X-Plane, get it all ready to go, and then we'll port it over to FSX or prepare. Yeah. So they're making sure that their airplanes get both sims, which from their perspective, from a business model point of view, I understand why they're doing that. And I really don't have a problem with that, because I'd be probably doing the same thing.
Well, I don't fault them at all for that. My thing is, Carinato's sounds are just not... I could care less about like the Nimbus Huey and other stuff like that with the maintenance modes and all that extra stuff they do. If you want that level of immersion, that's cool. For me, I want to fly a brand new aircraft every time I fly. That's just personal preference. I don't believe one's right or wrong. So that type of effort.
So I'm still looking for that bad guy.
You want a cookie? Yes, ma'am. I don't want a. I don't. It needs to look good. It needs to have a glass cockpit. I do not want analog, but it's got to sound good, because if it doesn't sound good,
right,
starting an aircraft breaks the immersion. It's like I can't remember. I think it's the the AW139, where it's like there's no ignition sounds. It's just like it's like, what was that? Was that a clown? Like, that's literally how it sounds, like a clown accelerating. It's like, no, come on, guys.
That's I mean, half of your experience is your sound, your sight and sound. You know, and so. No, I totally agree.
Still looking over here. I know he's right here in the trees.
That's Hot Star's expensive. That's a $70 module. It's like, I think it commands the price. I just don't want to buy it because I'm gonna get something. I'm gonna get the 930, which is a bigger.
There he is. There he is. And I can't now.
From what I understand from watching
but
AOP Live and other people in the real world,
again,
it's just different avionics packages.
Inexperience.
The physical.
I forgot how to lock the target. If I remembered that, he'd have been toast.
The 900 through the 940. It's just different packages warrants the different numbers for their certifications.
Interesting, you're right. Because it says here the 900 varies slightly, with the 930 being the more high-tech variant. And I don't even know what this is.
So,
excuse me. But this is interesting if they simulate it. The 930's largest.
But the helicopter's flying fine.
The Garmin 3000, which I didn't even know
existed. It really is.
Which is a touch screen.
Right. Yeah, I do that. Yeah, the Garmin, and that's why I like the. That's why I like the Garmin GTN 750s, because it's a simulated touchscreen.
Am I crazy that the G1000 clearly shows it's more advanced? You know, with the virtual, or whatever they call it, the virtual environment that you can fly in that, where like if you were technically in zero visibility flying through a canyon, it's mapping based off of its stored data. It shows you like a runway. Obviously, it's a much more rudimentary depiction of what's out there.
I'm trying to get the camera to move, and
Ace was able to fly the 208 through a mountain range in fall.
It'd be nice if it was like the Apache, to where I've got my
there's things like that, and
helmet,
some of the flight planning and stuff like that.
Tracker there.
There's certain things that shows
helmet,
it's more advanced.
Crosshairs
and stuff like that being on
and
the
it would be
screen.
nice if the camera would follow
do I feel, it feels
my
like
head
step
movement.
Backward. The
So if I'm looking down, it was look down.
Friendly. And it feels like the G1000 is amazing.
It does that to a point,
but it seems like they lost.
Again, I'm going to have to do some work on my HOTAS. Excuse me, to maybe help that situation.
It seems like you can give it to a toddler and they can figure it out.
So
the 1000 is just like
the 3000. It took the
couldn't get it to lock.
1000 and the 750's user friendliness and put them together.
Oh,
that's what the 3000
sold. Give me a TBM 930.
That's from my understanding now in the real world. That's
I hope
because in the with the
gun sight was pointing in the wrong direction. So basically, when I pulled the trigger, it was shooting up.
Or the E1000
'Cause
G1000
I wasn't working the
configuration, if they
systems
would have made that a
properly.
3000, then they could have gotten this is Aerobasket I'm talking about in the X-Plane world. They would have gotten rid of the E1000
Man.
Skyview. They would have got rid of this. They wouldn't have had to have had the Skyview anymore because the Skyview is like.
And
the Skyview
again,
works with
I
the
realized
Dynon
later
videos
that
is a touch
I had
screen or
inadvertently
simulated
turned
touch
off my
screen where
laser
you can just,
designator,
you click in
which
your
would have helped the
airport,
situation
you put in your
a
first
whole
waypoint,
bunch.
and it pops up on all the destinations or the locations where that waypoint takes you to, and if you have your flight plan printed out with SimBrief already gives you your flight plan.
So what can I
turn
tell
around
you?
and say, okay, well, I'm leaving
Your
PMD,
pilot was
Palmdale,
crap during this flight.
Palmdale VOR, and it tells me to go.
He shot 2 targets of probably a dozen he could have. Plus he had
V12, then I hit V12.
16 Hellfires and never found anything to fire him at. And without the laser designator on, wouldn't have done him any good anyway.
All the waypoints from Palmdale all the way to KABQ.
This is the G3000.
So,
G3000 does the same thing, but the Skyview does it as well.
what can I say?
Skyview for the E1000 airplane is what we
Bug
got,
Eater
which
64.
is an X-Plane 10
Screwed the
model
pooch
that came out late in
this
X-Plane
flight.
10 shelf life by Aerobas.
But it was fun
And they would
anyway.
Put in all those waypoints for you.
What was
It was a
it?
learning experience,
Was it
and I
the
learned some
G1000?
things.
Was it their version of a G1000, Dion, or was it? Or am I?
Yes.
Okay.
My personal
Skyview,
after-flight
the
brief
Dynon's version, their
showed me
competition, the
my
G1000.
deficiencies.
Oh, okay, so it's not a G. It's not a Garmin.
And
but it's
so maybe the
a
next
Skyview.
one will be
Okay,
better.
gotcha.
We shall see.
It was,
But
and
this
so
one
they
ain't done
had
yet.
this tech,
So
you know,
let us keep
Aerobas
going.
in the simulation world had this tech already.
And now I can't
for
find
the
that bloody
Skyview,
truck.
Their representation of Skyview, so put in all. That's why that airplane for me was one of my favorite airplanes because it was so user friendly.
You brought up a question for me. Is the Falcon 50? Does it require you to pay an additional crew member when you do flights?
No, because it's up to 9 passengers, so you can fly solo FAA regs. You can go solo up to 9 passengers.
Okay, interesting. See,
Whereas
now,
Go ahead.
but like the 412 is a single pilot, but the AW139 is not. It has to have 2 crew, which is weird. Bug, do you see that cockpit?
I think are you flying?
That is incredible. Like one of the things that I asked Bug to do with that 208 video is to show me like, and I think I've got my head around it now, but the relationship between the emergency
Okay,
fuel
so
controls, the ground idle versus flight idle, the power, and the prop feathering. It was
Enough
kind
playing
of,
with
there's a bunch of
these, I
levers over there
think.
that seems to me should be like a lot simpler. But how the TBM does it, where it's just like, okay, throttle cutoff, ground
I can't
idle,
find
once you're at a certain RPM.
Yeah, 'cause
on the
he's
startup.
right in there.
It's all
And then-
Phoenix.
Well, but what I'm saying is they use one lever for everything because it's a gear shifter. They've got 3 positions in the right, and then when it's like, okay, you're not going to start feathering the prop on this aircraft until you're at flight idle. And flight idle makes sense to me in how they do it in the Cessna, but you're not going to start messing with prop feathering until you're at flight idle. And so this aircraft makes you go to flight idle, then you can curve over and start using the forward and reverse and the thrusters. And it's like, holy geez, this is. But I'm looking at this cockpit and I'm like, okay, other than air conditioner controls and a keypad entry, it's just the G1000s and then the autopilot button's right above that, and then just a couple power switches on the
So I
top.
kept looking
broken
and I
down
kept
off the right.
looking and I
This
kept
aircraft
looking, and then I
be
couldn't find him.
simpler, Yet it's giving you a ton of information, but it just couldn't be laid out. So like this is the aircraft if I was a millionaire. I think, okay, you sign me up. I want one of these because
And
this
it was-
thing.
And then next, then they're going to sit there and Garmin's going to come in and do a software update on this, and then you're going to have AutoLand with that AutoLand feature that they're
All
using
right.
right
Well,
now.
I'm
It's
tired of looking for
certified
that thing.
The, Hyper
okay.
Arrow or something like that, I think is what it is. But yeah,
The
you just have
nose
a big
down,
old
get
button on that
some
center screen that comes
speed
and
up.
Yeah, I saw the videos of that on the.
And-
They had it on a Hyper 600 or something like that. It's on
And
600.
we're gonna
Yeah,
head down the
yeah,
valley
you're
because
right,
there's
it's a
some.
Hyper 600, you're
I
absolutely
saw
right, it's a
something
Hyper
down here, and I want
Now,
to check it
I
out.
wouldn't use that on this because obviously I want to do the landings, but I need to
No,
work on like these patterns and getting yourself like you did, where you were aligned perfectly with the runway. Because obviously the helicopter flying direct probably would
Yeah.
cheat fly direct with the TBM too, just to be honest. But once I see the airport, basically the helicopter, it's like, okay, let me fly in either with the runway exactly, or let me fly in off axis so that I wouldn't be getting in the way of local traffic and just fly straight into my hangar area over the,
Right.
and get out of the way of the runway and not be in the approach where I'm not interfering with other aircraft like a real helicopter would.
Yeah.
But I'll have to learn a little bit of a difference on that when I start flying TBMs.
When I've been up at KWJF having breakfast, I
So
was
right
watching
up
the
here,
airplanes.
there's some
I've
stuff
seen
in the
some
trees.
helicopters, they would have to line up with the runway, land like they're going to land on the runway, and then taxi like you would taxi just by hovering. And
Just gonna take
and
a
I would
quick
see
look
that,
at it
and I would
here.
see other times, other helicopters, depending
Yeah,
on
it's
I guess,
right in
how
those
busy it
trees
was,
there.
They would just go.
Can't see it,
say,
though.
"Hey, I need to land over here."
So we
and then
come up
power
here, there's a
directly
bridge
go,
up
they
here.
just go right over there. They just
Let's
fly
see
right
what is
over
on the
runway.
bridge.
They just go right across everything, and then they just land right where they want to go.
And
So I don't know. I guess it just
as
depends,
we get
I
up
guess
here
it
to the
depends on
bridge,
the conditions of the airport at the time that
And
that you're coming in to land.
see what we
honestly,
got.
I would suspect that the ones that are coming in traditional approaches and taxiing, maybe more of your student pilots and your guys have a lot more time. 'Cause obviously
And
time
what do
is
we
money
got
in a
here?
helicopter.
Okay, I'm gonna slow
Obviously,
down
you
and
get
take a
more
look.
working in a regular
I
aircraft.
think there's something up
And
here worth
I know,
looking
like,
at.
for Austin Bergstrom,
And
when I flew with TPS 100 and when I flew with APD, we
Here
were basically
go.
be communicating with the tower. But
Be
once
off
we
to
were
our
sitting
left
there
here. Let's see what
idling
we can
at
see.
Our tarmac area.
There's a bridge
we
right
would come
there,
off the
and
ground
there's
a couple
some
feet,
equipment
get
on it,
clearance
and one
to
of them
take
happens
off,
to be a
and then just
BTR
like you
80.
said, it
Who
wouldn't
decided
be
to
no
shoot
rhyme or
at me?
reason. We wouldn't be
So
taxing down anyway. You're just gone. And I
time
think
to get
the airport
out of the
that
way.
If I get you into a flight pattern, okay, now I've got a bunch of 737s that have to go into a circle and wait for your slow
And
butt
let's
to
see,
get
I was
down.
gonna go low.
If I can just get you
Get
want out
into a
of here,
hover,
okay, as far as the clock goes,
see
just
if
go
I could
9
make an
o'clock. Get the hell
attack
out of
on
my
the
airport.
bridge.
Go 090 by. And
Yeah.
that helicopter.
That was my plan.
Not in anybody's flight pattern, because it's.
Right.
It was an
it's obviously-
excellent
As
plan.
soon as it's up in the air, at
Just
50 or
wasn't an
60
excellent
feet,
pilot.
Other aircraft can start landing underneath it because in a short time that helicopter is going to be at 500 or 600 feet
And
above the airport, so it's no threat to
Here we
anybody.
Okay, almost.
And
Oops.
It's out of the
Let
flight
it-
pattern.
yep,
so,
yep.
But yeah, I'll have to adjust. Where
Bounce
I
it
fly
off the
when I
ground
get
a
the
little bit.
TBM, But I think I'm just
Yep.
going to hold off and I'll try to
Oop.
find the 412 and just get
Oop,
into it. I really
oop,
enjoy
oop,
watching
it. Like I said, excellent plan, horrible execution.
JF-17 and DCS,
And
I
that
think I'm going to hold off. A hot start would be the aircraft I'm going to buy.
Is the
if I buy it.
name of
Yeah,
a fail.
This is an amazing cockpit.
but also a very good
I
learning
mean,
experience.
hot-
Alrighty, hey everybody, BugEater64 here, and that was a look at the new skin for the KA50. I've got a lot to learn about the KA50, and I didn't want to waste a Hellfire on a fuel truck. So that's why I was using the chain gun, and having some problems with, like I said, still learning the aiming system and so on, and but we'll get it. But I just think the aircraft is beautiful. It'd be great if eventually in DCS we do get an actual Apache. I don't see it happening. I think we're going to get maybe the Marine Cobra, which would be awesome, or even the AH60 Blackhawk. That would be great because that is such a good multi-purpose and can be fit out with tank killing rockets and so on. So yeah, that would be great because it'd be multi-purpose just like the Huey. But right now this mod showing the AH64 is the only real tank killer we have on the blue players. Yeah, we got the KA50 and we've got the Gazelle. Gazelle is very limited. I'm looking at a AH64 carrying 16 Hellfires, or I can carry Hellfires and a combination of Hellfires and rockets. So the loadout is just much better with this particular mod, and it's a lot of fun. Like I said, it is on the KA50 cockpit, but and you can't load the aircraft, arm it up, rearm it until it's running, which is kind of nifty. But yeah, it's not perfect. There are some glitches in it. And other than that, though, it's a lot of fun to fly. And as you can see, I don't fly it very well, but it's a lot of fun. So anyway, we're going to keep practicing, and we'll see what goes on. Until next time, this is Bug Eater 64. And as always, do as I say, not as I do. Safe flying.